What's up everyone, it's your boy Xmanny87 here, bringing you my first ever Hot Toys review, so let's hope I don't break this thing. And what I have for you today is the Sideshow Collectibles Spider-Man PS4 Advanced Suit action figure review. Before I get into everything, if you could please leave a like rating on the video, it'll show your support for my channel, I greatly appreciate it. Now, with that said, Spider-Man comes with everything you see here, so we'll take a closer look at his accessories first, and then we'll take a closer look at Spider-Man. Before handling your Hot Toys figures, always make sure you go over the instructions for the do's and don'ts. You know, it tells you like the green check right here to do, X to don't do it. And also shows you how to handle the accessories as well, and you know, your typical warnings of don't choke on your action figures. Next up, he comes with a piece of web sticker, so I guess this will be cool to put on your laptop or something like that. Next up, he comes with this base, and while I'm not a big base person, I really like the way this came out. It's got some nice glossy embossed finish right here. Got some texturized material on the side right here. Got the white part, you know, resembling his costume from the game, so I dig this a lot, saying Marvel Spider-Man. Next up, you got this strong wired cable, so you'll put the clip on there, so, you know, to help your figure stand. And on the bottom right here, you just plug that into the base. And this will help with balancing your figure on display or posing them around. Next up, he's got this nice character backdrop from Chinatown in the game. Looks good. I'm not really big on these little diorama cardboard cutout pieces, but you know, you got the two stands right there to help this stand. And you know, if you want to have some fun and just take up close-up shots, but for a 12-inch figure, it's kind of hard to keep this stuff contained, but it'll make out nicely on a D12 shelf display. And next accessory up, we have the spider drone, and this looks freaking amazing. I love how this came out. You got the spider eyes right there, as you know, for the camera, and you got this nice textured sculpt right there with the cobwebbing and a nice metallic sheen to it. I gotta say, it's really nice. The legs do not articulate, well, they just swivel. You know, you're not gonna get up and down movement. But, you know, it's really cool. Got the front grill right there. Spider Drone got a grill looking like a G. But the bottom is sculpted nicely, too. I really like how that came out. Wow, just an impressive piece overall. And, you know, all you got to do is press triangle and start your Spider Drone mission. So that's fun. Damn, this makes me want to go back and play the game. And next up is the adorable spider plushie. And this came out really cute. You know, big round head, you got the big eyes, you got the Spider-Man PS4 design right there, the white spider logo. It's not articulate or anything. A little pliable on the arms, but you gotta be careful with that. And you got his little chubby feet right there. That is adorable. That's funny. And on the back, you know, you got that Spider-Man design right there, like the spider logo, the way it's sculpted. And yeah, just overall, this is a really nice sculpted tiny piece. One of my favorite accessories out of this pack. Next up, he comes with two trip mines, and I like this a lot. It has his face on it. You got the blue lens right there, and you see he has some pink-like type of color on the cobwebbing. I'm guessing that's for, you know, someone steps on it, it'll go off. And behind it, you got some more sculpting, got like these two little round circles in there. Next up, he comes with two concussive blasts, which were one of my favorite gadgets to use in the game. Again, with the nice details on the accessories, you got some blue painted in, some silver in the middle and around it. And yeah, it's just overall beautiful sculpt. And you got the base of it right here with some of the legs sticking out. That is really, really cool. On the bottom there. Silver. I think it's magnetic too. Taking a spider lens here, and let's see. Yep, it's magnetic. That is really cool. Next up, we got two web bombs, and these look absolutely amazing. Again, with the nice sculpt, paint. Just looks amazing. Front and back, just showing you around. Yeah, this is so dope. Next up, he comes with a vulture jammer, which is a really nice accessory. You know, they didn't have to include this, but they did, and I'm just loving all these accessories. So I'm glad they did something like this. Got some pink right there, pink on the bottom. That's supposed to be a little switch or something. But yeah, just looks great. Next up, he has a smartphone, which looks really good. Looks like a real smartphone. Almost iPhone-like, too. Glossy screen right there. In the back, you got the camera lens on the top right there. That is cool. They even added, like, the volume switch buttons on the side and the power switch. Yeah, it definitely resembles an iPhone. It looks so good. Next up, Spider-Man has three interchangeable eye lens, and it's really cool. So this first one is the wide open eyes. I like that a lot. But what you want to do to interchange is push the top right here so you get this piece sticking out. Pull it out nicely. It's magnetic. That looks creepy as hell. And then you can put in the other ones, which again is magnetic. His second pair of eyes are half open, but looks really good. You know, the lens is definitely taking inspiration from the MCU Spider-Man. Lastly, for his third set of eyes, he has the more squinting type of eyes, which look really good. Just reminds me of that Spider-Man meme. You can't ground Spider-Man. Next up, he has this really cool Spider Sense cutout accessory. And all you got to do is just push out this piece in the middle. You're going to pop Spider-Man's head off. And just put that in there like so. Put the head back on and now you got a cool Spider Sense effect. So Spider-Man comes with 5 strings of spider webs in different shapes and lengths attachable to the web shooters. So this is where it would attach to at the end right here. I'll show you that later when I get to the hands. And then you got the ends right here that are shaped as like a web ball. So that is really cool and nicely sculpted. Here's a look at another pair of webbing effects, and this is really cool. So this is super straight. And what's cool about these is that at the end you can attach the web impact accessory, so I'll show you that. Here's a look at the web impact accessory, and this is nicely sculpted. I really like the design on this. And at the end right here, this is where you're going to plug it into the web string. And all you got to do is plug in that web string accessory, carefully plug it in, and there you go. Now you got a nice webbing effect that'll shoot out of his web shooters. And next up, you got his web slinging accessory, so I'll show you how that works once I cover the hands. Spider-Man here comes with 3 interchangeable web shooters, so here is one of them. And to change it, simply pop off the hand. Okay, you're going to take it out like that, and then put the new one in. So here's a look at the second web shooter, and here's a look at the third web shooter. And all the web shooters have a little hole right there, so if you want to plug in the webbing accessories, just do so like that, and now you have your Spider-Man shooting out webs. He also comes with 2 extra ball jointed wrists, so if one ever craps out on you, you can just change it, and that is really cool. Backups are always good to have. As far as alternate hands, Spider-Man here comes with these 2 action hands, 2 closed fisted hands, 2 wall crawling hands, 2 thwipping hands, and I really like how these 2 middle fingers are pressing the web shooter trigger. That is really cool. He has 1 left wielding hand, and this is good to hold his web bomb or hold his concussive blast. He has 1 right wielding hand, and it's great for him to hold his phone or gifting Mary Jane her spider plushie. He comes with 1 piece hand for his right arm. He comes with 1 web swinging hand for his left arm, and as I showed you the web swinging accessory before, you can simply just slide it down on his hand and just pull it down. The instructions say to pull it down from the bottom here, and boom, there you go. And it's also good for him to hold his vulture jammer. Now to take a closer look at Spider-Man, I'm just blown away with every aspect of this figure. But taking a look at his head right here, it is so freaking nice. Love the sculpting. I love how there's texture on the red right there, and the spider eye lens, that is just super cool. And it has this nice silvery shimmy look. If I turn down my exposure here, you might get an idea of what I'm talking about. You can see some of the silver seeping through there. It's just so freaking good. Taking a look at the rest of the body here, I am just in love with this advanced suit. I love the texturized fabric going throughout. Hot Toys definitely captured the story of this advanced suit, because in case you don't know, there is a story behind this suit, and I definitely covered it in my first ever review, which was the Spider-Man Marvel Legends PS4 advanced suit, and I did cover in-depth detail of how this suit works. So the entire suit is pretty much inspired by what a modern athlete would wear in his 20s, and being that Spider-Man is seasoned in the video game, he is in his 20s, definitely captures what a modern athlete would look right now. So the red serves as a reinforced, thicker material. The blue areas of the costume, that's for breathability and flexibility. So that is really cool. So as you see the seams here, that is important to have, because that's what makes that suit function for the breathability and flexibility. So I really love how they tackled the seams here. The white on his costume, it acts as a flexible carbon fiber material. So it also serves as a bulletproof vest for his spider logo. And as you can see, you have that carbon fiber looking type of material on there. So the white on the other areas, such as the wrists, the fists, forearms, and ankles, that serves as an offensive and defensive mechanisms. So For defense, great for blocking, right? Because that'll pretty much hurt the enemy and protect him. As far as on the offensive side, it'll help him knock out enemies much harder and quicker. So you got his shoe right here, and it's supposed to represent that of athletic sneakers, so that's what it's heavily inspired by. And you got the white here, so it'll help him knock out enemies quicker with a kick. Also great for running, jumping, parkour, wall crawling, bouncing off from building to building, things like that. I also like the feel of this thing. It almost feels like this is what it would be like to wear the costume or touch it. This is really, really cool, and it's squishy in some areas. Like, he's got squishy spider boobies, and even like right here on the deltoid muscles, feels padded. I'm also blown away by how they laid this material out. Like, if you look at the trimming on the red right here, you can see a seam going there, and it continues along the between the spider legs. That's freaking impressive, man. You got more of that red trimming here that separates the red parts of his costume. Again, just looks so nice. Again, that texturized fabric, that is so beautiful. And the seams here, they definitely did a great job nailing this costume. I love how the spider legs come down. Definitely reminds me of that Amazing Spider-Man costume, which I love that costume. But taking a look right here, the spider belt. More of that nice cobwebbing pattern starting from his hip all the way down to his lower thigh, knee area. And I love how the muscle definition pops out through this figure, man. It's so good. Got more seams coming down the lower calf to his ankles. Alright now, so prepare yourselves for the slowest articulation segment ever, as I'm so afraid of breaking this thing. So let's start with the head. His head moves up that far and down that low. It moves left, it moves right, it pivots, and it rocks around. His arms move that far up. Instructions say only 90 degrees, but I tend to push the boundaries. And just, you know, one more click, maybe two more, that works. Shoulder rocker, it's got the shoulder swivel, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that bend in about 120 degrees. You got a wrist swivel and a ball jointed wrist hinge. You could point in any direction, but not a lot of wrist movement, unfortunately. Diaphragm joint that moves that far forward and that far back, and it also has a pivot and it rocks around. And you got a swivel at the waist. Legs move that far apart, and I'm not pushing it any further than that. I don't want to damage the fabric. The legs move that far up, so I got it up to at least 90 degrees, and then it moves that far back. So pretty decent. Got upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees, and I did not expect heel to the butt with this. He has a good ankle swivel. His ankles move up about 60 degrees. They move down. Don't want to push it further as you don't want to break that piece. And he's got a toe joint. For some comparisons, here he is next to the only other 1/6 scale figures that I have, and they are the Marvel Legends Symbiote Spider-Man and the Classic Spider-Man. Here he is next to the SH Figure Arts Spider-Man PS4 Advanced Suit, and here he is next to the Marvel Legends Spider-Man PS4 Advanced Suit. Alright, now to wrap things up, I don't know what else to say than to say this is a masterpiece. I'm just blown away. Yeah, it's my first Hot Toys figure, and I'm probably saying that because it is my first Hot Toys figures. I don't have another Hot Toys to compare it to or even make the best judgment off of it, but I can only go by my fun factor. And I had loads of fun with this figure. I mean, the accessories are just amazing. The trip mines, the concussive blast, the spider drone, the web effects, the spider plushie, spider sense. It just goes on and on. Definitely that spider drone is my favorite accessory. And then the spider plushie too. That one's cool. But there's just so many. I don't know. Let me know what's your favorite accessory. Now to put my professional review cap on, I found the articulation to be a little bit limited as far as trying to recreate those iconic video game poses. I was finding myself very challenged to try to, recreate those poses. The texturized fabric definitely hindered some areas of articulation where he needs more range of movement. But the one thing that Hot Toys got right, which was the most important thing for me, was that they captured the storytelling Insomniac Games told for this costume. As I said, with the blue areas, the red areas, the white areas that, I explained earlier, they got that right. I'm so in love with this PS4 costume, and it's probably my favorite video game ever. For those of you who don't know, I almost lost my life last year, and out of the hospital, this game was my road to recovery, and it just definitely brightened up my days afterwards, and that's why this has such a sentimental value to me. So for that reason, you know, I am all in on collecting as much Spider-Man PS4 merchandise as I can. So definitely all in for the Hot Toys Spider-Man PS4 skins. So my final rating for this guy is a 9 out of 10, and it would have been a 10 out of 10 if the articulation was where I wanted it to be. But everything else is on point, from accessories, sculpt, texturized fabric. Definitely a grand slam here. Alright guys, so that was my first ever Hot Toys review. Let me know how I did. Gotta give a big thank you to my wife Justine at Geek She Style for giving me this for our second wedding anniversary gift. I just absolutely love it. Please drop a like rating on the video, comment, we'll chat about it. Follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. Link is in the description below. Get your Hot Toys Spider-Man action figures at Big Bad Toy Store. Link is in the description below. Share and subscribe if you're new. Enjoy the pics at the end of the video. See you on the next review. Peace, peace.